Adjectives are words that modify nouns, and they constitute one of the most basic parts of speech. But there are different kinds of adjectives, and we use them in different ways, so perhaps there's more to this part of speech than initially meets the eye. Here are 10 things to know about adjectives. 1. Adjectives are said to modify nouns, meaning they add more information. That info can either specify the noun or describe it, and the difference often depends on context. Specifying adjectives narrow down the specific noun in question. For instance, adjectives like vegetarian or Indian before the noun meals limit the selection to a particular subset of foods. Meanwhile, descriptive adjectives like delicious, healthy, or expensive don't help to identify the type of meal, but simply reveal some of the meal's qualities. While descriptive adjectives are often optional, specifying adjectives are sometimes required for comprehension. 2. Adjectives can come in different places within a sentence. Most commonly, they come either before the noun they modify, known as the referent, or after linking verbs like be, look, and seems, when the referent is the subject of the sentence. But adjectives can also come immediately following the referent. While it's not a hard and fast rule, adjectives that come after the referent are more likely to be temporary or at least situational, whereas adjectives that come first are more likely to express steadfast characteristics of the noun. 3. Any noun can be a referent, but pronouns are a different story. Adjectives that come first typically cannot modify pronouns, but most pronouns can be modified by adjectives that come after linking verbs. As for the third placement option, it's actually fairly common for adjectives to immediately follow indefinite pronouns. These are pronouns that are highly non-specific, like anything, everyone, and somewhere, as well as generic uses of one, those, and each. In these cases, generic pronouns are balanced with specifying adjectives. 4. When more than one adjective express similar qualities of the same noun, they tend to be separated by and, or simply by commas when they come before the referent noun. But when multiple adjectives that come before the noun express different qualities, they might need to be in a particular order, without commas. Some grammar resources will list an order like what's shown here, although they are incomplete and inconsistent. We can summarize these lists as subjective assessments come first, followed by physical traits, then elements of design. But here's what you really need to know. The more that a quality reflects the intrinsic nature of the noun, the closer that adjective should be to the referent. Meanwhile, more surface level and subjective qualities are positioned further away. 5. Some nouns can act as adjectives when they specify a category of the referent noun in the sentence. For instance, the word romance is usually a noun, but in the phrase romance novel, it modifies the noun novel in the same way that an adjective would. Such modifier nouns almost always come before the referent. Within the order of adjectives, these attributive nouns typically follow under the design grouping and almost always are last in order, immediately before the referent noun. 6. Conversely, adjectives can act like nouns. This is typically the case when the would-be referent is broad and obvious from the context, like the word people. These nominal adjectives generally need the determiner the before them and can be seen in examples like the poor or the young. 7. Other parts of speech can morph into adjectives with the addition of a suffix. For example, a childish adult is one who acts like a child, and an impressive display is one that impresses people who see it. Common suffixes include able, full, ick, and less, among others. 8. Many adjectives are gradable and can be evaluated at varying degrees. One might use adverbs of degree to express how hot something is, or how polite, how funny, how dark, and so on. Some of these adjectives have extreme counterparts. For example, freezing is a synonym for extremely cold, and the extreme of big might be gigantic, enormous, massive, and the like. These extreme adjectives are considered ungradable, but absolute. We typically would not use adverbs of degree with these, since they would either be contradictive or redundant. Another kind of absolute adjective is binary adjectives, meaning they either are or are not. an item cannot be rather missing. Either you know where it is, or you don't. 9. Gradable adjectives are used in a broad range of grammar topics. They follow how at the start of interrogative clauses. They can be paired with to or enough to show how the noun measures up. They can be used to form comparisons in a few different ways. And they can fall between so and that to reveal an outcome. Some of these phrases can even act as linkers for complex sentences. 10. Adjectives are not the only noun modifiers. As we've seen, nouns can modify other nouns. Nouns can also be modified by phrases, including prepositional phrases, participial phrases, and infinitive phrases. Nouns can even be modified by entire clauses, most notably relative clauses. Some of these phrases and clauses are specifying, while others are descriptive. And modifiers that come after the referent are more likely to be circumstantial than ones that come before. So while these other modifiers have their own rules, they aren't all that different from adjectives. This has been 10 things to know about adjectives.